Hi there everyone, I'm very excited to bring this tutorial to you on data binding. This is an absolute game changer for Rive. This is basically what we're going to build, a preloader, and then it goes into a screen. And this is basically what we're going to do, and it's actually easier than you think. Once you wrap your head around the logic, it's very logical. It's like math, but it's like easy math. It's not hectic math. So let's jump in and do this. Welcome to the wonderful world of data binding. This is really a game changer in Rive. Today I'm just going to give you a quick introduction to what you can do with data binding. It's a very deep topic and I'm still wrapping my own head around it. But I reckon this is going to change the way we work in Rive for the future. So we're just going to build these simple preloaders and I'm going to show you how to bind data to it. So what I'm doing here is I'm just taking the pen tool and then holding shift and just create a straight line. Just gonna go to this line, delete the fill, add a stroke, let's make it 50. Change the color. Center it on the artboard. And then just going to create another stroke. Make this one 40. Make it black. We call this one holder. And then we duplicate holder and call it loader. And then for this one, we duplicate the black and make this one 30 pixels. So now we've got a holder with a loader in. We want to control this with a trim path dynamically with data. And this seems complicated, but it's actually not that complicated. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to data. You can either go to data or go to the artboard up here and add a module. Let's do it here because I think this is easier because then you know the model is linked to your artboard because that's important. The model should be linked. So let's create a new view model. Then we're going to go to data, just double click and change this loader. We call this loader. And then now we need some data. So with this loader view module selected, I'm going to press the plus and we're going to add a number because we want a preload. We want a number that goes from 0 to 100. So this number, I'm just going to call this num. And then I need to go here, select this in the hierarchy, select the loader, go up here, click trim paths, and then where the start is, we right click and say data bind. Then we select the num. So now this number is linked to the trim paths. Okay, we can go and test it in the state machine. So now if I play, nothing's going to happen because at the moment the data, the number is 0. So if I go to data here, select this number and increase the value, you'll see if it's 0, there's nothing, and if it's 1, it's at 100%. So we don't want that. We want it to be at 100% when it says 100 here. The reason why it's doing this is because the trim paths operates between 0 and 1. What that means is if the trim paths number is 0.1, it's 10%. If it's 0.5, it's 50%, etc. So we need to take that number and divide it by 100 so it corresponds with these numbers here. If it sounds complicated, don't worry, it's going to make sense just now. So now we just go back to the design mode, to the data. Now we need to add a converter because we need to convert this number. So we press plus, go to numeric and calculate. And I just rename this trim path converter. And then here on the right hand side, you can see what we want to do. What do we want to do? We want to divide this number by 100. Then we need to go back into our hierarchy, get our loader, and then where we've added the data to the start, we just right click it again and say update bind, and then convert, trim path converter. So now it should work. So if I press play and I go into data, click on number, now it's working perfectly. Now say for example your client wants to choose between a few different preloaders. He wants one like this and then he wants a circular one. So that's easy. We're going to bind them both to the same one. That's the power of the data binding. Is you can bind data to different aspects of your Rive, different parameters. So let's just go back here to the assets, go to design mode, go to hierarchy, and then press 0. Create an ellipse, delete the fill, give it a stroke of, make it 30, or maybe that's a bit too much, make it 10. And then we sample this color here and just put it in the center. And we call this one loader 2. Now we're just going to repeat the process. So go here to where the trim paths are, trim paths, start, data bind. We want the number. We want to convert the trim path converter, it's the same as the previous one. So now let's test this quickly. Press play, go to data, number. Excellent. So both of them are working. Now say we want to add some text. We want to have a loader that shows the percentage loaded numerically. How are we going to do that? That's very easy. We're going to go back into our hierarchy and just add a text box. Just going to make the text bold. Make it 40%. Let's make it 40. Oh, that's a bit too big. 30. Change the color. Select both of these so we can just center them. Then we go into the text and we duplicate. We maybe just change it here to 100, just so this just placed all the text. Then we duplicate in the text run. We duplicate this run. Control D. And then you select that one there and then put in percentage. So just being a bit OCD now, I'm just lining everything up so it looks perfectly. Okay, so text, that one. Okay, I think we're good to go. Okay, now we need to feed this text with a number. So we're going to go up here, this text run here where it says 100. That's the one we want to change. So we go here, data bind, and we want this number. So let's test it. So go to data, go to number, but it's not working. Why is it not working? Because we need to use another converter. So we need a converter to tell this, the number, to change the number to a string which is a text. So all we do is we go back to our data, add a converter that says string, convert to string. Okay, now this is very important, round decimals. Otherwise you're going to get 20.54346789, that type of numbers. We just want it nice and clean, round decimals. Now we're going to go back here to our hierarchy where we've got our run. You can see if there's something's being data bound, you can see it's got this funny thing that looks like an alien's eye. If it's yellow, it means there's a problem with it, like we've got here. And sorry, if it's gray, then it's fine. So let's fix this one quickly. Update bind converter, convert to string. See, now it's should work. Let's have a look. Okay, so we're going to play. It's already seems like it's working, and then we go to data, click on the number here, and then perfect. Everything's working perfectly. Okay, so what do we do if we want some text in here that also gives you the percentage of the loading, but it follows this cursor here? How are we going to do that? Now I'm going to show you a really cool trick. So go back to design mode, just create a text tool, and then type there text. Let's just type in there 100. I'm just going to align it right. Then I'm going to group it. I'm going to call it text loader. Now this group, I'm going to go to constraints. I'm going to add a follow path constraint. Click here, and then for the target, we select this loader here, which is this one. So now it snaps to that. So now this text is going to follow this loader as it grows. So let's do that quickly. Let me just take the text and make it black. Okay, so now we need to go into the follow path, and then where it says distance, we right click and then we bind the data. So now it's going to grow with that. So then we just use our number input, and then for the conversion we have to use that same trim path converter, because the trim path goes from 0 to 1, and we need to do that, otherwise it's going to go when the number is at 1, it's going to be at the end. So let's see if this works. Moment of truth. Press play, go to data, number, and there you can see it works perfectly. But it's a bit, the number is, we need to bring it at this a bit to the left, but that's not a problem. That's exactly why I put this in a group. That's the reason why I use the loader, the group, the text loader, to add the follow path, so I can manipulate the text inside. So all I need is I can just scoot it over here a bit. Let's see, and then we go back to the animate, press play, data, number. Okay, now it's looking cool. Now all I need to do is now I just need to add the same parameters to the text that I've put here. So we're going to go into the text, and then into the text run, right click, number, and convert to string. Okay, see if it works. Data, number. Okay, now it's working perfectly. So now we've got our setup. But can we animate this? Is there a way that we can present this data visually? Because you can, from the developer side, they can feed the numbers into the JavaScript. That's a bit above my pay grade, but that's how it would work. You would give this to a developer, and then they would feed the numbers into those parameters. But we can simulate it. It's very easy. This is another cool thing with data binding. I'm going to show it to you now. Okay, check how cool this is. And this is really going to show you the power of data binding. It's for me, it's almost a bit like expressions in After Effects. So what I did here is I just created this rectangle. Now I'm just going to press Y to put the anchor point at the bottom. Then now I'm going to go to the scale Y, data bind it, and use our number. But, and the important thing is you need to press this button, target to source. And what that basically means is it means this is going to control the numbers. Let me show you. We go to the timeline and we add a keyframe, make it 0. And then we go to the end of the timeline and we make it 100. So basically it grows from 0 to 100 over a second. Then if we go to the state machine and we play the state machine, there, voila, that looks really cool. Now it's working. And the nice thing is we can manipulate the timeline. Let's give it some interpolation. Let's make it steep so it loads quickly and then it slows down. And that will be reflected here. That's really cool. And then obviously if you want to render, you don't want to see this, then you just go here and then just toggle the visibility of that rectangle. And now we can see what's happening here. And that's really cool. Okay, now to end off, I just want to show you how we can use this in the state machine. So let's go back to our artboard. And I'm just going to create a rectangle that fills the whole artboard. Make it 500 by 500. Put it in the middle there. And maybe just give it, we can give it any color. Let's give it a yellow as well. I'm in a yellow mood today. Okay, we're just going to call this done. And then maybe add some text. Let's call this done. Anything random here will do. Make this black. Bold and big. And center it. Group it. Then let's just call this done. And then now we just go to the timeline here. Go to the first second. Put this up here. And then create a new timeline. And just put a keyframe on the, we'll put it up there again. And then go down to the second and just bring this down. So maybe just give it some interpolation, some cubic interpolation. So what we've got now is this. So basically what I want to do now is once it's done, once we've loaded, it's going to go into this. It's going to go to this timeline. So it's very easy. All we need to go, let's call this one done. We go into our state machine and we add this done timeline here. And now with this condition, now we're going to add an if statement. And if statements, they look scary, but they're actually very simple. It's very logical. If number equals the value 100, then we go to done. So let's test the whole thing. And that's it. Very cool. This is really a game changer. And I think I've just scratched the surface with data binding. There's still a lot to learn. There's a lot for me to learn. There's this thing called enums, which I don't have an idea what it is, but I'm going to figure it out. And I mean, if you look at the the view models, the types of models you can put there, strings, booleans. This basically opens Rive up. It's almost like on the same level as Flash used to be with ActionScript. In fact, it might even be better than that. So the future is here, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one.